Good evening and welcome to another live market overview of the crypto market with me, PumpeyeTheTraderMan, and Bilo, the former bear. How are you doing?
Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing fine. Happy to join everybody today. Start off as usual with Bitcoin chart from its conception to where we are today. The biggest, most grand cycle for Bitcoin, where Bitcoin was at zero. Wave one is the all-time high from 2017. Wave two is the low from 2019. Wave three is the all-time high from the summer, or more in May, April. What was it in April? Wave four is the bottom of the Wyckoff accumulation, and now we are in wave five. I do this every time. I'll just do it again for those that are listening for the first time and don't understand or don't know what Elliott waves are. Elliott waves are a series of 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be in the opposite direction, could be in a downtrend, but for now we're looking at the uptrend, followed by an ABC correction. This ABC correction can take many forms. This is the simplest form called a zigzag, but it could be a lot more complex. We won't get into this for now. What's important to know is that in each one of the 1, 3, and 5 waves, there are 5 actually waves inside of them. And then in the wave 2 and 4, there's another ABC correction, which, as I said, for the larger ABC, could be quite complex, and there's many different variations. But what you need to know is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. And as big as this cycle is, at the end of the day, all of this is just wave 1 on a larger level. And then the dump down is wave 2. So when we're looking at Bitcoin's largest cycle that we have to date from its conception to where we are today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When this 5 is over, in reality, from here to here is just wave 1. So it's just a cycle and a cycle and a cycle, okay? That being said, we're gonna look at where we are today, and we are gonna zoom into the chart a little bit just so we can see what's going on. So this is where the previous previous all-time high from April was. This is the Wyckoff accumulation that we had. So this is wave 4. And like I said, we're currently in wave 5. Now, there's a lot of interesting things happening in wave 5. A lot of shapes, trading shapes that give us an indication for targets that actually work very well with Elliott wave theory, confluence, and Fibonacci extension levels. Initially, what we have here is, as you can see, we have this inverse head and shoulders, with the top of the inverse head and shoulders being this red neckline. So left shoulder, middle shoulder, right shoulder, we broke out. The target of this small, this inverse head and shoulders is here. It's about $76,000, okay? This happens to confluence with the target for wave 3. We're currently inside of wave 3. We've done a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and now we're looking to make a 5, okay? Now, if you remember what I said earlier, in that waves 1, 3, and 5 also have 5 waves inside. So now we start to get into the wave, the details of wave 5. So if I go into a smaller time frame and I go into an hourly time frame, what we see is this. I'm just gonna try to zoom out, and for some reason I can't, which is just great. But anyway, so this is the wave 3 of wave 5 in the grand cycle that we're referring to. So inside of wave 3, as I said, we have to count 5 waves. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The top of wave 3 of wave 5 happened here. Then we corrected down to wave 4. And we're supposed to be in wave 5 of wave 3 of wave 5. If anybody's confused, please stop me now because I want to explain this. It's very important. Just speak up if anybody doesn't follow where I'm going. Okay, good. We had identified here a small inverse head and shoulders, which reached its target precisely, okay? We also identified, and I'm just going to zoom back out a little bit, a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, or it doesn't really matter, this white line here. Now, guys, there's definitely a lot of lines. So, you know, we'll keep that in mind to not get a little confused. Keep in mind just this white line for now. I'm going to make it thicker so it stands out more. Dave loves it when I make the lines thicker, so I'll do it for him. And here we go. So a few weeks ago, we identified this line being an important line because we have an interaction here, another one here, another one here, and another one here. And when this interaction was happening here around the 9th of November, there was clear bearish divergence on the chart. I mean, I could show it to you here if you like. So between here and here, I have to go back to the, you know what, I don't want to screw up the format. You just have to take my word for it. On the daily, between here and here, there was bearish divergence. So we put out a TA in CS at the time saying this here, this yellow spot is a likely important test. And we wouldn't be surprised if we went down here because of the bearish divergence and because it's the neckline on a larger time frame. So we weren't going to be too surprised. This green box here has been identified a while ago as being an important support zone. And today or yesterday or whenever, we dumped exactly to this spot. Now, the line that is really the most important, and I say this every single time, guys, lines are important, but right now I'm on Coinbase. If I change the chart to KuCoin, that line is going to change a little bit. If I go to Binance, it's going to change a little bit more because exchanges have an arbitrage in between them with bots. So the lines are not exactly where they're supposed to be. So, you know, a dip below this line is not a reason to panic. A substantial dip below the line is reason to start reconsidering what it is that we're looking at. So why is this line so important? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Inside of wave 5, remember I said, inside of this wave here, excuse me, we're supposed to have also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So now I'm going to zoom in even more. I'm going to draw even more lines. I'm sorry for the mess, but that's what it is. If now I'm starting a new 5-wave cycle, this here would be 0.0. This here is 1. And now we're going down to 2. Okay. 2 can never go lower than 0. So this green thick line at the bottom is a very important level for Bitcoin, because if we break this line, it means that we're not in fact started a new wave. We're still correcting from wave 3. So wave 3 definitely, without any doubt, ended right here. This is definitely wave. This is not definitely wave 4, excuse me. Wave 4 could have ended here. And this could be the new movement up for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is 1. So far, this is 2. So long as I don't drop below, what is it, about 57.6, 57.5. As long as I don't drop below that, this count of a 1 and a 2 remains valid. Well, what happens after a 1 and a 2 is the 3 and a 4 and a 5. So if I was to draw these, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, something like this. Now, this is the bullish case where we shouldn't drop below this support zone. We shouldn't drop below this line right here, because if we do, that means we're not in an impulsive move up. What we're actually doing, we're still correcting from wave 3. Now, if we are still correcting from wave 3, we want to identify what this correction is, what does it look like, and where can it take us? For this, I'm going to zoom in even more, and we're going to do this count live together, okay? Just going to get rid of a few of these lines. So if this was wave 3, and it is, and we're still in a correction because Bitcoin made it below wave 4, then this is no longer wave 4. Wave 4 is somewhere lower here. We need to identify what it is we're looking at, okay? So, so far, from what I can see here, if we make it lower than this line, we're going to be in what's called an expanded running flat. An expanded running flat correction looks like something like this. I'm going to draw it here, and then I'm going to show it to you on the chart. So an expanded running flat correction, where are my ABCs? Here, looks like this. It's going to look like A, B is going to go higher, C, okay? ABC doesn't have to go higher here yet. Here, ABC, followed by another ABC, which does go higher, giving us the impression that we started a new impulse wave. And then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called an expanded running flat correction. Why expanded? Is because this wave goes higher than the end of our impulse, okay? Which you can get tricked into thinking right here, the correction, this is wave 1, this is wave 2, and we're gonna go back up. Well, what happens is we actually continue back down. And this, in fact, is the point we're looking not to penetrate. So if I go back here and I draw this exact same structure on the chart, okay, I zoom out again just to show it to you. Here it is. So A, B, C is right here. A, B, C, followed by another ABC, which goes higher. A, B, C. And you see the C went higher than the 3. This is where a lot of people get fooled into thinking we started a new primary wave because wave C went higher than wave 3, therefore we must be going up. This is not the case if we don't go below this point. If we go below this point, this is definitely the case. Like, there's no doubt. It's an ABC, ABC, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's assume the bearish scenario. Let's assume that we are going to go below wave 4 and try to target where this is going to end. So I'll just get rid of this. Everybody following me so far?
Yes.
So we'd have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm just randomly drawing stuff, right? I haven't measured yet. I'm just randomly showing that what we have is an ABC, ABC, which is called a WXY. So if I was to draw this whole correction on the chart, it would look like this: W, X, Y. Okay. Now, in order to target, now if this is wave 1 down to here, just to be more accurate, and this is wave 2, and if we're in the midst of making wave 3, my computer is lagging, sorry guys, here we go. I want to target wave 3. So by targeting wave 3, I'm going to do a Fibonacci extension from 0 to 1 to 2. And I'm going to put a different color just so we can see it better. And I'm going to make it more visible. There we go. Wave 3 should come somewhere here. Now notice, this is right below the line. So you would tend to see a bit of panic if we go below this line, okay? And it just works out perfectly in a way so that we're going to drop below the line, we're going to go back up, but don't be fooled because we're going to continue back down. If we go substantially below this line, I don't mean like a little wick, I mean like a proper solid line below wave 4, we're definitely in this running flat expanded correction. Why is it called an expanded correction? Is because wave X went higher than wave 3, okay? So at that point, wave 5 is going to be, I'm lucky I drew it at the right place. It's going to be somewhere here around 52K. This would be the target for this expanded flat correction, okay? Now, if you notice, it's also the target, or not the target, but it also coincides with the top of wave 1, okay? And we know that wave 4 cannot pass wave 1. So although it invalidates the primary wave going up from wave 4, because now wave 4 is down here, it's no longer here, it doesn't invalidate the bigger count because wave 1 is still here. So the next point of importance would be around this zone here of 52.5. And if we drop below that, now it depends how we drop, because Elliott wave theory says you can never go below, wave 4 cannot go below wave 1 except in leveraged markets. And this is where it gets a bit confusing, because why leveraged markets? It's not because it's allowed in leveraged markets. It's because what happens in leveraged markets is liquidations, okay? Liquidations that lead to these quick drops. So when Elliott wave theory says we can drop below wave 1, exceptionally in leveraged trades, all they mean is you're going to see a quick and a quick jump back up, because that pocket right here between, let's just kind of draw a square. That pocket between here and here is it going to be a liquidity grab for the stop hunting, meaning that the positions are going to get liquidated. There's going to be forced sales here to liquidate positions. It's going to get stop hunted from around here to 49. And in my opinion, it's going to be a very, very hard, strong bounce back up. This is why I say there's not much looking at the chart that makes me panic in any way, other than we might go to this level in a worst case scenario, but we are definitely going to bounce back up. And I know I shouldn't use words definitely and stuff, because we're supposed to say not financial advice. And I'm not trying to mislead anyone. This is what I think will happen if indeed we go below the 57.5 level. There's a lot of confluence, guys, for us to bounce where I'm saying, because again, this red line here was the breakout of the inverse head and shoulders, the first one. So a retest of that inverse head and shoulders just makes also more sense. So this to me would be the bearish scenario, and there's levels to this bearish scenario. There's going down, let's say to a little bit more here is not bearish for me. Going down below this level, I strongly believe if we make it go below this level, and it's not just a quick wick, it's a good solid candle, and then we trickle back up, we will come back down to around here. Okay, so I'm saying if we make it here in a solid fashion, it's not just a wick, we will go back up a little bit and then continue down to about 52K. If we drop below 52K, the lowest it's going to go, guys, the lowest it's going to go, in my opinion, is 49K before we have a very, very strong bounce up. That for me are the bullish and the bearish scenarios. Yes, sir.
Can I just tell you that I've just seen a notification from Crypto Quant Alerts that says there's been an unusual exchange outflow of 10,798 Bitcoin.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it is. That's normally a good sign that we could be at the end of the dump. I mean, last week,
like I said,
I think we did see a little bit of further action, but it wasn't a lot. And then we started going back up again. So that could be it with any luck.
Yeah, look, me looking at this chart, to me, this is a 1-2. I just wanted to give both sides of the story. But to me, this is a 1-2. So long as we don't go below this line, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this correction. It's a correction. It's not a dump. It's a correction. It's normal. It fits perfectly into the Elliott waves that we're looking at. But you have to keep an open mind. You have to see, okay, at which point do I have to change my mind and why? And if that happens, where can we go? But so far, I don't have any reason to believe we're not going to continue back up here. I just don't see it. Once I see it, this is what's going to happen. If we do drop below this point in a solid fashion, I don't mean a quick, like we have to kind of trickle down to here, not quickly. We will bounce back up above it, and then trust me, we will come back down to here. Again, sorry for using words like trust me. I'm passionate about this. So yeah, that's my view on Bitcoin, guys. But overall, my view remains unchanged. It's been like this for months. This is where we're going. Target for wave 3 is 75, and target for wave 5 is about 97 to 100. I've done these Elliott waves 20 different ways. I've tried all kinds of different scenarios, and it always leads me back to this. So you know what? I'm not perfect. I can't be 100%, but I really feel strongly about this.
Bilo,
Anybody have a question? Yes.
what percentage of your portfolio is in Bitcoin?
0.
I thought that might be the case. I'd actually like to know of the other people who are amongst us, what percentage of their portfolios they have in Bitcoin. Because I'm the same as you. I have 0 Bitcoin. And to be honest, I don't necessarily really think that I will hold Bitcoin. There's a chance if my portfolio gets to a certain point that I might put some of it into Bitcoin during the bear market, if we have one. But it's not something that I'm thinking of doing for the sake of the gains. It would be more as more of a stable asset than perhaps some of the other coins that I'm in.
Look, there's nothing wrong with accumulating Bitcoin. It's actually a long-term, very smart play. I mean, the biggest, most successful traders that I know always think in Satoshis. Okay. The thing is, when you have an opportunity to get on a faster train, you get on a faster train. If you're trying to get to a point of accumulating wealth, you want to get there the fastest way possible. So if at the end of the day, you take your profits and you throw them into Bitcoin, that's fine. But it would be kind of foolish to see 20, 30, 40, 50 X's happening right in front of your eyes while Bitcoin kind of, just slowly goes up. Definitely long term, if you're looking into asset management, yes, you want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as you can. But in a bull market where you're seeing these gains, to me at least, someone who is not accountable to millions of investors, I'm not a hedge fund, I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to play the coins that I feel are going to make the biggest gains, the fastest gains possible. But I'm not really into shit coins either. I'm still investing in quality projects. I'm invested in projects like Kusama, like Dot, like Moonriver, Luna, Flux. I mean, there's so many. We can talk about it another time.
Tell us your dirty secrets, Bilo. You've got some Shiba, you know you have.
Okay. I do have some Shiba. I bought some Shiba Kuki Luki the other day too.
Some what?
Shiba Luki Cookie.
Nice,
I don't know.
Nice. I have some Shibakan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that goes to the moon.
Hopefully. Look, for sure, you can play a little bit. You can play a little bit of, kind of like it's like going to the casino. You might hit the slot and you could get lucky, but you're not going to put all your money in there. You're going to throw a few bucks here and there. It's fine. It's not a problem. But yeah, Bitcoin needs to continue being steady or go up for the rest of the market to perform. And we've seen it time and time again. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is for now. I don't think it's going to stay this way, but it's like this for now. About a month or 2 months ago, before we started this pump cycle, we noticed something that's a bit different than we've seen before. And we mentioned it on the stream, in that we saw alts start to pump before, while Bitcoin was trickling down, which was unusual, which kind of, I remember we said that, could it be that, there's this insight in the market. I always like to think of the market as, whales, insiders, and then the rest of us, poor folk. So could it be that the whales knew or know that the control is going to happen on Bitcoin, that yes, although it's trickling and people might be worried and, could be selling, but that it's not going to go down much. And therefore they started the alt market, and the alt market kind of propelled itself without necessarily having Bitcoin go up. And at the time, I remember we looked at CryptoQuant and we saw that while Bitcoin was going down in price, the reserves were going down as well, which is extremely unusual. So this only means that the bigger whales or exchanges or institutional buyers, investors, whatever you want to call them, knew that even though Bitcoin was dropping, it was temporary and it was going to turn around. And that's in fact what happened. So what Pumpeye just mentioned about large exchange outflows of Bitcoin, guys, that is extremely bullish, because we say this every time. There's multiple reasons to put Bitcoin on an exchange, not necessarily to dump it. There are other reasons. The most widely held belief, most popular belief, is it's going to dump. But there's no other reason. There's only one reason to take off Bitcoin from an exchange. You're not going to sell it. So it's very bullish news that Bitcoin is leaving exchanges at this time where it kind of falls into our wave structure where we haven't really done completed our wave 2 below wave 1, which is very, very important. So that's it, guys, for Bitcoin. If anybody has questions, I know Pampay, you had an idea that you wanted to share. If you want to maybe share your chart.
Do you know what? I'd prefer that you continue to share your charts for now. We can discuss it a little bit later. But basically, I will share a chart within Crypto Society a little bit later on, because again, it looks remarkably like the Wyckoff distribution pattern, and therefore this drop currently being the Wyckoff accumulation or coming down into.
Well, sure, no problem. You know what, Pampay? Just looking at this chart very quickly here.
Go on.
This here, Pampay, this here.
Yep.
What we're looking at here could actually be an accumulation zone.
Yeah, it could.
And the Wyckoff and
you know what? It
sorry.
could also, sorry, if when I share the chart later, you can have a look. But it could also be that this current drop is the drop where we are halfway down the end of the distribution pattern, and we come down further, and we would basically wick down to. Hold on, I'll tell you.
The key is this, really. This is the key. As long as we stay below this, we have no reason to believe, other than keeping in mind that the correction of wave 4 is not done and it could drop down here. Aside from keeping this in mind, and it's good to keep in mind, we don't really have a reason right now to believe we're going lower than this right now, for now. If we do, at least you know where we can go.
Yeah, for sure. We're talking 53 to begin with, and then basically some volatility like last time when we dropped in April, May, and with the volatility would see us dropping gradually down to the bottom of the spring pattern, which is roughly around 49,000, and then we'd go back up again.
That's exactly where I have my target. You see, if you indeed end up with the running expanded flat.
Okay, for those of you that are interested who are in Crypto Society, I'll just quickly post the chart there so that you can have a look. Obviously, you don't need to leave the stream, but there you go.
So anybody have any questions on Bitcoin? And then we can move on to other charts that you guys want to look at.
One thing that I did notice was that we, in total, so far, have dropped from the peak, from our total high until now. We've dropped only a total of 15.18%, which actually really isn't that bad. And that's from the peak. That's not this drop. This drop has only been 11.75, which obviously is a completely different story. We're only talking 10%. Yeah. I mean, obviously that's absolutely ravaged all of our altcoins, because none of us have, apart from one of our viewers that's in the chat, none of us really have a lot of Bitcoin. So it's affected us a lot more than it might do a Bitcoin holder, for example, which is something that everybody should take into account when they decide whether they want to be trading altcoins or Bitcoin.
And I have to say, it's easy to say buy the dip. I know you need USD to buy the dip, and sometimes you're all in. But it's just another reminder, guys, that you really need to try to keep some stable coin aside at any time. You should never be 100% in. Nobody can really tell you where the top is. No one can really tell you where the bottom is. It is, at the end of the day, speculation based on individual thought processes and biases to a certain degree. You always want to have some USDT. I mean, there are some extraordinary bargains out there right now, which won't be or won't look much of bargains if we continue going down. You know, there's going to be better bargains down the line. But yeah, I mean, just general advice is never be all in. Always have some money on the side. Um, and then if you are all in and, you know, it went down, don't sell. Do not sell.
Why didn't you tell me this? Damn you,
don't
Bilo.
don't sell your good projects, you know, good FA projects. Do not sell them at a loss, guys. You will regret it.
Yeah.
And I really mean good FA projects. And if you're not sure what a good FA project is, just walk into Crypto Society. We have some outstanding guys and girls in there that you can ask. You'll get a good appreciation for what is a fundamentally strong project and what isn't. I mean, we're not talking about holding on to Shiba or, you know, we're talking about legitimate projects that have a future and are going to be around and are just going to grow over time. There's no doubt. So when you're in these kind of projects, just don't panic sell, because you will regret it. Unless you know what you're doing and you're a trader and you want to, you know, sell because you know you've hit a wave that's going to come back down more and you want to buy lower. If you know what you're doing, it's a completely different story. But don't panic sell is the message.
You know what? I've only actually ever sold during a dip once, and it really, really upset me to have to do it, because at no point do I ever want to sell when the market's dumping. I mean, it's completely the wrong way about things. And I had to pay for an ICO, and someone else had already bought it for me, and I had to pay them back. And it was just on that day that it happened to be that the market dipped. I wasn't very happy. But then actually, that's another point of I should have had some dry powder on the side, shouldn't I?
Easier said than done. We all get into the trap of buying and end up, and I'm not saying that I'm better than anyone. It's happened to me tons of times where I had to figure out, where am I going to get cash? I need cash. I need to buy more. It happens, but just try to keep it in mind. No one can ever tell you that's the top, that's the bottom. It is speculation. You know, I'm trying very hard not to kind of overemphasize buy, sell, but it's hard. I'm a passionate person. I'm passionate about what I do and what I say. But at the end of the day, take what I say as not financial advice, as my opinion, and do a little bit of your own research and make sure what you do is logical for your own situation. Everybody has a little bit of a different situation too. Some people can very easily access dry funds, and it's not a big deal. Some can't. So
other people
I guess
go all in.
Yeah.
Bilo.
So that's it, guys. Anyway, it's time to ask about crypto.
Stop being so humble and modest. Anyway, you're saying that you nobody can call the tops and the bottoms. Absolute rubbish.
We've been lucky.
Oh, come on. I mean, we didn't call the absolute top, but we definitely called the drop down as soon as it went in any shape bearish before we came down into the accumulation part of the Wyckoff pattern. As soon as it dropped out of that channel, we were on it. And I do believe that we called the bottom both times. Nail on the head.
Bilo.
Yeah.
And others, the issue of stop losses.
Yeah.
So at some point I thought I was so clever, right? I'd set like a couple of stop losses and I was like, okay, now I'm doing the responsible thing. And I woke up, it was with Kusama. And I woke up and the stop loss hit and it like basically hit my stop loss and bounced back up and never came back to the price of my stop loss. So now I never use stop losses anymore. So
were you in a
don't
leverage trade, Amber?
No. Oh my God, no.
Why did you put a stop loss on a spot trade?
You know, it's one of those things where they say so. So it's like you don't want to lose the profit that you've got, and so if there's a major crash through the night, you haven't lost the profits that you made through the day or whatever.
I get
it's not even like I was trading, right? So it was just me experimenting with stop losses, and there are times when I've thought, shit, I really wish I had. In May, I really wish I'd had a whole lot of stop losses in place. So when is a good time to use stop losses? Or actually, if you've got enough confidence in the project, is it best not to ever?
You know what?
So it's an
Bilo,
Sure.
can I just,
Yeah.
Amber, I think you need to rephrase the question in your head, because I don't think it's so much of when do you need to use stop losses, but it's more a question of where do you need to put your stop losses, because you might have put your stop loss on and thought, right, that's the level that I'm comfortable at if it drops, and I'd like to keep that amount of profit. But realistically, if you're trying to protect yourself from losing profits if there's a crash, or if there's a like now there's been a drop down in Bitcoin, then you shouldn't be setting it so tight that you're looking at potentially trying to keep as much profit as possible, because the point at which your pain will start is when your coin drops out of that bullish momentum. So you need to put it below the last, like if you look at the daily chart and you see where the last low point is, you need to put it below that low point by a little bit, so that you know that it's only if Bitcoin really hammers down and pushes down on the alts and they go out of the positive momentum that you're going to have that stop loss triggered. You see? So it's not about necessarily how much profit you want to keep, because that's not really what you're setting it for. You're setting it as a fail safe to try and protect yourself from losing all that you've gained, aren't you? So realistically,
Yes.
you just need to set it just below that point of that last low, so that if it goes to a lower low, then as it breaks down, the market structure breaks down, then it will sell for you.
I'll tell you what I think, and not to contradict anyone, because I don't think there's right and wrong here. Okay, I think it's trading philosophy. I don't put stop losses on any of my spot trades. Okay, if I get into a spot trade, and now we're not talking about shit coins. We're talking about projects we believe in. Okay. Kusama, you gave the example of Kusama. You can use DOT. You could use Ethereum. You could use whatever example you like. It's very common in crypto, more than in trading any other financial instrument, for there to be ridiculously gigantic wicks. Okay, so if you believe in the project you're invested in, and you're in a spot trade because you think it's going to go far one day or today or tomorrow, if you believe that it's a project that you want to hold through the thick and thin because eventually it's definitely going places, I would advise against the stop loss. Personally, I would sell the project if I have reason to believe that the market is turning. If the market we're going into a bear market and I have a good reason to believe that I can buy back lower, but I won't use a stop loss because there are so many wicks that can easily put you out of your position. And if you put the stop loss very far away, I mean, why are you putting a stop loss to begin with if it's that far away? What's that point where you say to yourself, if it goes below here, I want out, and why? I mean, this is very personal. There's no right and wrong, I guess is what I'm trying to say. For me personally, when I'm spot trading invested in coins, I want to make the decision to sell because I see something that makes me want to sell versus be screwed out of my position, because that's a very common theme in crypto, is you get screwed out of your position because of these gigantic wicks. So again, there really is no right or wrong. It's a personal view. It's a risk tolerance. For me, using the example of Kusama, if I'm holding Kusama, I strongly believe in Kusama. I think in a year to 2 to 3, I'll look back and I'll say, thank God I bought Kusama. Same goes for other projects. So I'm willing to go for the ride up and down until it makes it to where I think it's going to make it. So it doesn't bother me too much to see it drop. It doesn't faze me. It sucks. You look at your portfolio, it's down. But if you know that eventually, or if you have reason to believe that eventually, you're not going to go wrong with this trade, I don't know. Always try to think of your trading or buying of crypto when it comes to decent projects to real life investing. Do you put a stop loss on Apple or Google? You don't. You just go for the ride, and you know that one day it's going to be worth more. Or Tesla. Think of it that way. So if you choose crypto projects to invest in that have that kind of potential and that kind of solid fundamental background and basis for them, don't worry too much about the fluctuations, because eventually it's only going to go up if you pick the right project. And Kusama is one of those projects.
Mark has just given his first valuable input to one of our live trades, and it is steak. It's the first sensible thing I think he's actually ever said at any point. Congratulations, Mark.
Sometimes hodling is the best approach, guys.
And he didn't even bite.
If you think long term, hodling probably the best approach if you're in the right projects.
Yeah.
Look at Bitcoin is only getting scarcer. So, do the reverse psychology. Think of it the other way around. If you agree that Bitcoin drags the market with it up or down, where do you think long term, where is Bitcoin going? Look at the adoption, look at the institutional investment, look at the fact that it's becoming more scarce every single day. There's a little bit less Bitcoin to mine. Where's it going? So if you have fundamental projects that you're invested in hitched to the Bitcoin wagon, eventually those projects will also go in that direction, even if they're temporarily down for now. So think long term, think years, not even months. So what? Market is down today, or for a month, or for a week. We went through this summer. Okay, Bitcoin was at 64, went all the way down to 28. Where are we today? We're back up. So what would have happened if you sold at 28? Because everything looked like doom. And 90% of YouTubers were calling for 15K. Forget who said what and who was right and who was wrong. But I guess what I'm trying to tell you is the overall trend is up. And it remains up for now. It just does not look like the trend has reversed. And I don't think it will reverse. And with the so-called bear market that people are talking about, that's going to come one day, it's a correction like anything else. Remember, I started off the stream by saying this whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cycle is, at the end of the day, that's one wave. Even from Bitcoin's conception, where it was $0 to today, or to the 100,000 that we're projecting, that's just wave 1. And then there's going to be a wave 2 down. It's not a bear market, it's a correction. You can call it a bear market if it makes you feel better, but it's a correction. So, yeah.
So, Bilo, we
Yes.
have had requests for SDN, SDN, and Atom. If you fancy taking a look at them.
SDM?
SDN.
N? Scheiden.
Yes. So Mark says that if he could lock things in staking, he does it to protect him from himself.
It's very smart.
Mark knows himself very well.
So just random question, is it's not too late to do the parachain auction stuff now yet still?
It's not for the first batch. You're probably too late because it started November 11th and we're already November 16th for the first batch. But then there's a second and third batches. I'll take you to it. I'll show you very quickly here.
That looks like a marvelous chart. Scheiden. Just
yeah,
Bilo, you've made my screen incredibly bright.
Amber?
Yes.
If you go to, this is a great website, parachains.info.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
No problem. Parachains with an S.info. And then auctions, and then you click on Polkadot. My computer is incredibly slow right now. Okay. So the first auctions are November 11th to the 18th. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if you can still bid. It's according to this says join now. It looks like you can. I'm a bit surprised, to be honest with you. You could try, and you can go and try. I mean, if you still want to, you can go lock up your dots. Seems like you can. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. Let me just refresh the page.
Look, that's a little bit different.
I'm still, you can join. I'm surprised. So listen, it seems like you can still join. In the past, they sold out much quicker. Amber, you can still join according to this. You can trust this website, by the way. Just make sure you type it in right, parachains.info, and you can join directly from here.
Parachains.info.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Yeah, you can still join. Today is what, the 16th?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like you have a couple of days.
Oh,
left.
17th.
17th, oh, for you, yeah.
Because you're special.
It's because she's super
I get a
forward-thinking.
whole day.
So yeah, just remember, Amber, that if you do get in, you're locking up your dots for 2 years. I'm not discouraging you. I've done it myself. I locked up
And so
95% of my dots. So I'm not discouraging you. Okay. I'm just saying, keep it in mind. You are locking them up for 2 years. With Akala, you have something called liquid dot, where you can get liquid dot in exchange for the dot, which you can use to borrow Akala USD stablecoin, or use it on their DEX, which is coming, hasn't come out yet. Moonbeam does not have anything similar. You can do it through Binance, and you'll get something called B dot, Binance dot. So you have multiple options. If you want, one of the videos we did, I think, what was it, 2 weeks ago, Pumpy?
Oh, yes. No, I listened to that.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't there, but I actually listened to it afterwards.
Okay.
But
okay.
I thought that I might have missed it.
Well, I thought you would have missed the first round, but it looks like you still can join here. So I would do it quickly, just in case, if you still want to.
Okay, no,
Right,
I do want to.
All right, Shiden. Ay. Oh boy. Yeah, that doesn't look great. Who's asking? I don't care who's asking. I don't mean that. I mean, why are you asking? Do you want to buy more? You want to get in?
Do you know
you
what?
already bought? What's the reasoning?
It's not someone that's in the chat. It was someone that was in Crypto Society, who I believe is watching on YouTube, and they asked.
Okay. Could it be because, hold on, let me just try another. It's only on KuCoin. Could it be it's only on KuCoin? Some Kraken with US dollar.
It might not necessarily only be on there, but it's only on there that you can see on TradingView.
Yeah. Look, this is very hard to TA. There's not much to TA here. There's no data history. There's no. I can't give you any advice. Let me just look at
broken cryptocurrency number go down.
Look at the.
I mean, at least there's support down there, by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's very thin support though, so I wouldn't be able to give you any advice. I apologize. Not on this.
Paper support.
Yeah, sorry. What was the next one?
Atom. I mean, realistically, there's loads of coins that you could do some TA on right now, isn't there? Because of what's going on.
Okay, this actually looks decent. Okay. So we're gonna get rid of this first. This looks very nice. Looks like you're retesting the cup and handle here. This looks very nice. Whoever is asking, just looking very quickly at the chart. I would draw it more like here. So this could be a cup and handle, could be a funky inverse head and shoulders. Could even do this. Let me just see. There's 100 ways of looking at this. It's a bullish looking chart. There's zero doubt it's a bullish looking chart. This is
I tell you what is a bullish looking chart, Bilo, from what I can see. Radix. And you know, I've been following Aurora as well, Bilo.
yeah.
That's been recovering really nicely. In fact, it's the only coin on my portfolio watch list that is in plus today.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been seriously wanting to go.
So do you think that Aurora will carry on its current up phase?
Yes.
It was one of the I bought that
It was
at
the one that you
the
mentioned,
height
wasn't it?
in May.
Yeah. What,
Oh my
what
God,
was the price when you
it's
bought
been
it?
one of those things. I think it was at like 59.
Guys, sorry, just to finish this off, this is my target for Adam.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay, what's next?
Do you want to have a look at Aurora? AOA.
AOA.
I'm trying to remember what your post was, Pumpeye, because you seem really confident. I think it was something like, "We are going to the fucking moon" or something like that.
Yeah, no,
For Aurora.
I do believe that Aurora is going to do very well. It's recently broken a very long-standing downwards trending resistance, and it's come up and then it's come back down and retested it successfully. Even with this drop, it's not dropped back down below that resistance. So that to me says that we're going to see some fireworks go off. If you scroll a little bit further out, Bilo, and you see, so you can see the previous high before that, then you'll see that there was a downwards trending resistance from the peak that hits that second peak, and then it comes down, and we've just broken above it and then retested it. Not from there, from right at the top, actually.
I'm gonna draw multiple. I'm gonna draw multiple lines just to.
No, you're right. Actually, it's not from right at the top. Beg your pardon.
Yeah, I think this to this would be the.
It's the second one, actually.
This one here.
That next one up, yeah. If you go from that one.
You can draw multiple. I mean,
of course.
I mean, you could do this, and you can say, "Oh, wait, we broke above it." We did, but then there's still another resistance here, which coincides with 618. Yeah, but definitely, if you ignore everything to the left for a second, just a little bit, you can very easily concoct a inverse head and shoulders or a cup and handle here. in terms of targeting, at least to start off, it's not at all far-fetched. And then in terms of a wave count, I'll do a wave count very quickly. This would be the bottom. So 1, 2, let's call this 3 for now, 4. Let's put the 5 anywhere. I'm just curious to see if I have any confluence. My computer is extremely slow right now. I don't know why.
You're mining Bitcoin.
Can't do it. I want to see if this correction is over. This is definitely wave 3, ended here. It makes sense with the extension and with the resistance of 0.618. I just don't know if wave 4 is done or not. And that's where corrections can get very tricky. Yeah, I don't think the correction is done here. The correction is not done. To me, the correction can make it down to this level here. Either we bounce here or a bit lower, where this consolidation is here. I don't think the correction is over. So whoever's asking, or you're asking,
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing to worry about. But I don't think the correction is over because I don't see a simple ABC. What I see is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a zigzag. So if that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I want to see here an ABC and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at a minimum, it should bounce here. And normally it would bounce here if this was the top of ABC.
Okay.
But overall, you should not worry holding this coin. That's for sure.
No.
Okay, anything else? Or I'm sure there's others. Please go ahead.
Glitch or Radix?
Sorry, I just want to talk a little bit, guys. I've been speaking for a few weeks about Flux and Remark. I just trying not to give financial advice, but I really suggest you at least look into these coins, look into Flux, and look into Remark, and I'll chart Remark as well. There's a very nice healthy dip on Flux right now. I think I have a buy order that hit. Let me just make sure. 1 second, sorry. Just want to see if it actually hit. And yes, it did. Woohoo. Okay. So yeah. If you look at this, so I don't want to waste time talking too much about the project itself, but Flux is essentially a decentralized network of computers on Cadena chain, whereby it's like the iCloud, or not the iCloud, but the Dropbox, if you want, of Cadena, okay? Amongst other things, but it's a network of decentralized computing. Very, very strong, fundamentally strong project. A lot of hype, and guys, do not underestimate hype, because hype, I think Pampa and I were talking the other day, there's a lot of coins that are preceded by hype on Twitter before they actually pump. I'm not talking about, like meme coins. I'm talking about fundamentally strong coins. There are communities that are very strong believers in these coins. Flux is one of them. Read up on it. That's all I'll say is read up on Flux. And the other one is Remark. Remark is the best way for me to explain Remark is, you know what Radix is? Radix is, the idea behind Radix is taking code, taking blockchain programming code, making little blocks of code, simple code that does, you know, let's say code A does 2 steps to the right, code B does 2 steps to the left, code C. You take all these blocks of codes, you put them together, and you have your own code. That's what Radix is. Remark is the Radix of NFTs, if that makes sense. So it's being able to take NFTs and put them together to create a unique NFT. That's what Remark is. And it's recently partnered with Moon River. And again, a lot of hype, a lot of talk about metaverse, a lot of talk about adoption on different chains. Strongly suggest you look into it, read up on it. I don't want to tell you buy, sell, just do some research. I think you'll like the project. And then, you know, relatively speaking, if you look at the dip, it's a quite a healthy level for repurchasing. So it went up to $39. It's gone as low as 25. Of course, Bitcoin can dip some more, and we can all find, you know, better bargains out there. But yeah, as far as typical Elliott wave retracements, this is, you want to ignore everything to the left here because it's when it got listed, and that's what always happens. You know, give it a few days to stabilize. 382 is usually an excellent level for on the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cycle. It's usually an excellent level for a bounce, a wave 2 bounce on the grand cycle scheme of things. So anyway, I strongly suggest you look into both coins. And it's just as we're speaking, it's going up. So we're definitely in an accumulation here, and in a correction. The correction finished. We could still see the sideways movement for a while. I'll analyze it further, but I had already started analysis on this. And although it's boring as hell, it pays off because Elliott waves, you know, they just describe what can happen, the different corrections that can happen. And the best case scenario is that you can at least know which correction you're in, and then you can project how far you can go. So here we're definitely we've gone into what's called a 333 correction. It's more complicated. For my own purposes, I'm going to do it and I'll post it because I am invested in Remark, and if I have reason to think it's going to continue to go down, I will definitely buy more. And I think once you read up on the project, you'll understand why. So I strongly suggest you just read up on these 2 projects. Sorry, Pumpy. Radix.
Yes, please.
Another amazing. So you see here, this is a perfect example of how corrections can be so tricky. And I need to go into a smaller time frame to explain this. So yes, you can blame it on Bitcoin, but it's still explicable in Elliott wave theory. So here it was like it was perfect. A, B, C. It's like a perfect ABC to here. We have this A, we have a B, we have a C. Okay, we should be going back up. What invalidates this? We went below. So we were talking earlier about Bitcoin, and what helps us to say that we're not in an impulsive wave up is this. We went below 4. So now I know this is no longer my 4. So now I need to find another count. So this is an A, this is a B, this is a C, then we have another ABC here, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're not finished. Why aren't we finished? Is because we have this new structure here. I've definitely reached the end of a structure. This would be a running flat again. So now I have 2 options to assume in terms of what's going to happen. There's really just 2 options left. Option 1 is a 333 correction, which gets more complicated. Option 2 is this here is wave 1, and this is wave 2, and we're hopefully going to do a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and so on. But if again, just like Bitcoin and just like we saw here, if this here goes below this point, we're definitely not finished correcting. Definitely not finished correcting, and we'll see lower prices. I personally, and this is really not financial advice, I have a buy order at 45, around here. Okay. The reason for that is you can see that this is a consolidation zone here. Okay. So if it comes down, I feel like it's going to bounce in this region. I don't know if it's 45 or 46, but I'm just letting you know for me why I have a buy order. And sometimes you put buy orders in, not because you know it's going to go there, but in a situation where the market is correcting, you do yourself a favor by putting some low buy orders and hope that they catch. Sometimes it's a good strategy. Look at this. I think when did this happen? 11:30 today. I might have bought Radix. Okay, I'll check. But this is a good time, guys, to put some low buy orders in. You might get lucky. It could be just a quick wick. And yeah, voila, you have yourself a coin at a good price. Radix is one of those guys. I'll let Pumpeye talk about it more. He brought it up first.
And actually, do you know what? You can make yourself some very quick and insane profits during some of these dips. If you manage to get an order in that catches, then, I mean, because of the way that the selling pressure works and the buying pressure works, and that when that pressure is released from Bitcoin, some of these altcoins literally just explode back upwards. And I mean, if you're looking to just make some quick profit and not to invest in these projects long term, then buying these dips is actually a very good way of making some money.
And it's actually the opposite of what Amber was on about before, about setting stop losses. Sometimes you want to set these as a low buy, and that actually does more for you.
Indeed.
So let's see if this was the end of wave 4, or if we're going to drop below. So guys, the line of importance to think about as you're looking at Radix is this point here. Don't worry about a quick dip and rise up above it. But if you're trickling down, the correction is not over. But there is significant support here. So I doubt very much that we won't bounce here. But yeah, go ahead, Pumpy.
No, that's all right. I was going to... my next request for a coin afterwards when we've finished with Radix is Flow.
Sure. Flow. Before I analyze Flow, does anybody know what's happening with the tokenomics and the release? Are they done?
No, I think there's monthly unlocks.
But big amounts, or like what are the...
I'm not entirely sure. I would have to
Because Flow has really underperformed because of this, I think.
Yes, I think so too. And actually, for once, it was one of the coins that I bought in at the wrong time, I believe, which is a bit of a shame.
Did you?
Yeah.
You bought it at the
I
right.
bought in at 14.
Are you sure it wasn't at 11 or 12?
No, it was at 14. Well, actually, to be fair, I bought in
You
lower.
bought it at 11 or 12.
I bought in lower and I sold at profit, and then I bought back in again.
For you. So impossible to analyze, guys, because it's very, very, very recent. Token unlocks affect the coin a lot, and I think that the token unlocking mechanism, the vesting schedule here, is hurting Flow. We spoke about this a month ago. I have to research a little bit more, but it can go lower. It really has underperformed. Like, this is the area where everything was pumping, and you see Flow just dumping. And the only reason for this is not because it's not a good project. It's an excellent project. It's vested tokens coming on the market. That's what it is. Yeah. Was it Kai that asked by any chance? Is Kai with us?
No, that was actually me.
Oh, okay. I'm going to look at Luna because Dave is with us.
Thank you.
So,
Do you know what's doing well today? Well, doing
Yeah.
okay today, considering the circumstances. Bird against ETH. And Avax is also doing very well.
Specifically against,
Avax is
well,
just
Bird
gone over
has-
$100.
you know, Bird guys. So Bird got selected from over 1,000 different projects to be on the Binance Labs incubator program, which is very hard to get into. They got selected out of 1,000 different projects. And that's why Bird is pumping. Bird, people know Bird purely up until now, and that's going to change for their role in as an oracle, as a what do you call these? Sorry, I can't think anymore. The credit scores, but Bird is a lot more. They're one of the top on-chain analytics projects in the game, and they're doing a lot of on-chain analytics. Been talking about them for a while. We have a partnership with them, and we work with them on several things. But what's very interesting with Bird is they're the first on-chain wallet analytics protocol out there. What that means is that they'll be able to analyze different wallets and provide data to end users, and the end users are going to be businesses, institutions, to determine how different people react and act based on what they're holding and how their spending behaviors on chain is. And on another level, that's the customer side. But then on another level, the investor side, it'll allow projects that are looking for investors, VC venture capital investments. They'll be able to analyze how do these VCs handle their investments. So do they dump once they receive their tokens? Do they hold on to their tokens? So imagine if you're developing a project and you wanted investors, and out of the 10 investors that you had to pick from that are offering you money, you could tell which ones dump and which ones hold. You're going to want to pick the ones that hold because you want the value of your project to increase and you don't want this dump on the market. Bird is doing this. So, I mean, it's not for anything that they got selected as part of the Binance Incubator program. And there's a lot of very interesting stuff coming their way and more news coming with a new token that's coming. It's going to be news very soon. And once they're finished with the setup with Binance, it's going to be offered on the market. So very interesting stuff. Sorry, I took a
That's all right.
I took an exit on the highway there. So Dave, I've been saying this for a while. There's this bearish wedge for Luna. The other thing with Luna, so it broke out here. It broke out of the bearish wedge. So you could say it's invalidated, but this wick here is a result of what happened with Bitcoin. And not because I wanted to dump. I don't. I own Luna. But I really, 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 really feel that this bearish wedge is going to play out and we're going to see prices in the $25 range. I know you hate what I'm saying right now.
Ouch.
I hate what I'm saying right now, but we're going to get to around back up, in my opinion. We're going to go back up to about $56. And this wave 5, if it doesn't go above this line right here, we confirm an ending wave diagonal, and ending wave diagonals are very bearish as structures. Okay, I can point that out to you on multiple coins, and the target for this would be, excuse me, again, I don't know why my computer is very slow. The target for this would be about here, $27. I said 25, sorry, about $27. Again, just something to keep a heads up for. If you see wave 5 end at this resistance line, a breakdown from this wedge could lead here.
Well, actually, that's nothing to be sad about as long as you're mindful of it and you trade it and you.
That's it. I'm just trying to draw attention.
Selling that peak or somewhere near that peak, maybe slightly below, just to front run it, and then buying back when you're at the low, and then you've just 2x'd your coin stash.
So I wouldn't. I would wait to see what happens here before doing anything. So if we see very obvious, very strong bearish divergence at this point, what Pumpeye just said is definitely a good play to kind of sell here and buy lower, because it's a very, very clear ending wave diagonal. And just Google ending wave diagonals and Google, or you should Google maybe correction size after ending wave diagonal or something like this. You'll see it's one of the sharpest corrections you'll see is after an ending wave diagonal. This candle here invalidates this diagonal. And I suppose I could do this and it becomes a lot better. But I feel like this candle here is a result of what happened with Bitcoin and it's not natural. I would just say keep your eye out when you get close to the $56, $57 range. Just see what's happening on the charts. I'm not telling you sell.
In this case, sorry, in this case, would you put a stop loss if you sort of thinking that that's what's gonna happen?
Good question.
I hate stop losses because you know what can happen, Mark, and I've seen this and it's happened to me so many times that although I preach stop loss, I don't like stop losses. And this, I'm just going to be honest. This is what happens. You'll see something like this, and then this. This is very like, let me just change the color in case, I don't know why it's pink.
It's because you like pink.
I do. Okay, and
It's
this,
because
I hate when this happens. And this is where you get screwed. It's these, I mean, I would rather press the sell button myself.
Yep.
Because I have reason that it's continuing down. As the price is going down, guys, what's your confirmation? Okay, here, let's talk about confirmation. So as price is coming down, if you break this point and the volume is going lower, you're gonna get screwed because there's gonna be a wick. But if you see volume building up as you go lower, that's when you want to press the sell button. Okay, if you want to play it safe, you have to look at volume, and an increase in volume below here will give you that confirmation. But if you see low volume as you're coming down, that's the very definition of bullish divergence. When we say bullish divergence, we have RSI, we have MFI that calculate it for us. But if you want to look visually, all you need is a candle and volume. And if you see a decrease in volume as the price is going down, it's bullish divergence. Not a time to sell. So all I'm saying here is keep your eyes on this and make the decision yourself. I mean, it could happen in the middle of the night and you could be sleeping. And that's why some people use stop losses. I've just been screwed out of so many trades because of stop losses, and not good advice, but I don't like to use stop losses. I'll only
full degen
I'll
mode.
only use them in leverage trading, and even in leverage trading, I got screwed. And now, if I want to leverage trade, I want to get out of my position while I'm looking at the screen, and I decide to get out of my position. Sometimes I let positions run.
So I think.
Sorry, 1 second. Sometimes I let positions run and I do add a stop loss, but it's a stop loss that guarantees me profit in a way that, let's say I entered into a highly leveraged trade, which not supposed to do, but let's say theoretically that I did enter into a highly leveraged trade and it went my way. I got lucky, whatever, and I'm in profit and I want to walk away. I'll set a stop loss saying, okay, I made my profit. I'm happy to make this much money. I'm not going to lose money. I'm definitely going to secure my money. And I want to walk away now. I want to sleep. I want to go out, whatever the case may be. I'll put a stop loss then and only then. And if I get screwed out of my position, well, at least I made a little bit of money. But that's the only time I'll use a stop loss. And if I'm in front of the screen and I'm trading it and it goes lower than I want it to go, I'm the stop loss. I'm going to sell, because otherwise, most of the time, especially in leverage trading, stop hunting is a big thing. Yeah. Sorry, Pumpy.
No,
Mark,
fine.
you wanted to? Yeah, Mark.
I think then for, say, like what Amber was saying about putting stop losses, instead put a price alert.
Yeah,
That's a good
absolutely.
idea.
I know a trader that has alerts that just start ringing at night. On not the funny thing is he doesn't do it on pricing. He does it on RSI levels.
Yep.
So RSI starts to do something different. He'll have an alarm that goes on, and in the middle of the night, he'll get up and do something.
Rub his eyes.
Yeah, rub his eyes. Say, what the fuck? But yeah, I mean, yeah, you could put alerts, absolutely. But then you're also assuming that you're there all the time, or even if you're out to dinner, you're gonna want to stop having dinner with someone and run to your computer. I mean, it's 24/7. This is very unusual. The rest of the market is 9 hours a day, whatever it is. Crypto is 24/7, making it. When I started trading and learning how to trade, I remember I wouldn't sleep. I would have a computer next to me and have to nudge myself awake every 10 minutes because I wanted to see what was wrong with my position. And it's hell. It's like the worst stress ever. Just not a good idea. Yeah.
Bilo,
Yes, sir.
where you've got your watch list on the right hand side,
Yes.
change that to mine instead for a minute.
Yes, sir.
And then change it so that the best performing assets are at the top.
Okay,
based
which
on-
one? Pumpeye Port or
Yeah,
Pumpeye?
the other one, the lowest one.
Pumpeye?
Yeah.
Okay, and then change here.
It's already like it. Have
Okay.
a look at Sandbox and Avax. You've just changed it. So you want the
Yeah,
best performing assets at the top.
I'll change it back. Okay, and you want to look at Avax, which is a beast.
Yeah, Avax has made it an all-time high today
The beast.
during all of this.
It's a beast. Unbelievable.
In all of this Bitcoin nonsense, Avax has made it a new all-time high today. Sandbox is 10% off its all-time high and has been literally 5 cents away from it at a high point today. So I don't know if anybody else knows whether there's news to support why Avax is pumping so hard. I know that the ecosystem generally is said to be one of the next to have its hype cycle.
I don't know. All I know is I've been looking at the chart for a while, and it's just unbelievable. It's a real beast. So
All
look
the
at
YouTubers have been talking about it over
Yeah.
these past couple of days. It's just like Avax is the new narrative at the moment.
So remember, guys, I say, and it's not me that says it, Elliott wave theory, but I mention it every time we have this live market overview. The ideal target, okay, doesn't mean it's the target. The ideal target, theoretical target of wave 3 relative to waves 1 and 2 is 1.618. And look at that, right on the nose. You can't make that shit up. It's I don't know what's pumping it. I guess the YouTubers or what. I'm not very familiar with the FA behind it. Just curious. Just want to see something.
One of our YouTube watchers has said that he's got a long open on sushi. Stupidly, the lowest liquidation is around 8.25. Do you think that we'll hit that, or do you think that it might be able to break even? The entry was
I'll take
10.53.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I just want a sec here just to check something.
Yep.
When you say your computer is a bit slow, Bilo, how many tabs do you have open?
A lot.
What you need is 90 gigabyte of RAM, like as in mine, and then it won't make any difference.
Show off. Okay, why doesn't Avax show up here?
There you go.
Oh, here. Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
Do you know what upsets me the most, Bilo?
Yeah.
I held Avax at $4.
Did you?
Yeah. I loved the project from when I first heard about it, and I bought some, and I held it for quite a while during the October, November of last year, and it basically went down to $2 and then spent ages just hovering around there. And when it got back to $4, I thought, right, I've had enough of this. I'm just going to cut it there and move on.
Yeah.
Oops.
Happens to all of us, bro. I know someone that held a lot of Cardano.
Don't you dare.
Why isn't this working?
Wasn't it like 300,000 of them or something ridiculous?
330,000 of them, yeah.
I was trying to leave off the 30 to make you feel better.
Guys, why is this not happening? Why can't I find Terra here? It was just there.
Try just putting in Luna.
You've maybe got too many specialist interest tabs open.
Yeah. They're not letting me do it. Fuck. What is this? Council of Apes. Okay, fuck it. Doesn't matter. Okay, we'll go back. What's the chart you want me to see?
It was sushi.
Sushi. Do you have it on your thing here?
Yeah, probably, actually.
I guess it's at the bottom somewhere.
Yeah. That's not a good sign.
That's me. That's me.
You could change
Okay.
it so that it's in alphabetical order.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to mine now.
And alphabetical below is a bit like your wave theory, A, B, C.
Feel better? Okay, so the gentleman or gentle lady that bought sushi bought it where?
1053, I think it was. Hold on. Yep, 1053. The lowest
What's the-
liquidation is 825. Do you think that it'll hit that, or do you think they might be able to break even their entries?
Their liquidation is at 8 what?
825.
Okay. Hold on. So he or she is on Binance. Where are they?
Oh, I'm not sure. Focused MBA.
Is
if
that
you could let us
AM
know-
or PM?
Focused MBA. If you could let us know which exchange you're on, that would be great.
If it's Binance Perpetual Futures, that's where I am right now.
Yeah, it's Binance.
Okay. And you're saying that it's 825?
That's where their liquidation point is. Yeah.
Okay.
But they said, is there any way that they can hop up there and talk with you guys? I'm probably around your. Do you know what? Yes, there is. Give me a moment. I'll send you a link. In fact, can you look me up on Telegram, PumpeyeTheTraderMan, and I'll send you a link on there.
Jesus Christ. It's a very erratic looking chart.
You can look me up on Twitter as well. It's Pumpeye_trader, and feel free to send me a message.
Well, there unfortunately are not any clues for a bounce other than the fact that Bitcoin is gone back above 60. So it's following through. If Bitcoin goes back lower, I think that you're going to get very close to your liquidation price. And this is very complicated. I wouldn't be able to do a wave count on this very easily. It's very erratic. This is obviously a top, and then this is entire structure here is a correction. It's crazy. It can very easily wick down and go back up too. It's not a good position. Anyway, we'll wait for them to join if they join. In the meantime, what else do you guys look at?
Do you think there's much likelihood that it's going to go back up to 10.53 for them to cut their losses and break even?
10.53?
Yeah.
The problem is I'm not seeing any bullish divergences. There's nothing, there's no bullish divergence at all. If I go into a smaller time frame, even here, you don't see any bullish divergence. It's just not there. And this is definitely, there's nothing here that shows me that we're in a impulse wave. This is all correction. So this correction here, I have to count backwards. I can't say. I really can't say. I wish I could. I wish I could help. It's also bad that you're headed into an area where there's support here. There's support at 920, but then there's another pocket of no support up until 840, and at that point, it could very easily just wick. And above you, resistance is increasing. So from this point upwards, all the way up to 1080, there's resistance. It's not a great position. What I would do is make sure you don't get liquidated, because if you get liquidated, you end up paying penalties now at Binance. It's no longer just a liquidation price.
Oh.
I would definitely set a stop loss before the liquidation. I wouldn't risk getting liquidated. It'll cost you more money. Can it go up? Yes, it can, but I don't see any reason for it to right now. I don't know, Pumpeye, what this is telling you. Okay, we have a green here. I guess that could be hope.
Yeah, that could be.
This means a change in trend, Pumpeye?
Yeah, it does. It means that it's hit the bottom. At least a temporary bottom.
So I suppose this could be, reason for hope.
It's on the 4-hour chart, so realistically, it should be quite suffice to say that it's going to go up from there. And
but I wouldn't
previously
I wouldn't
discussed about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has had quite a number of exchange outflows, so in that regard, it's not necessarily going to see the pressure from Bitcoin. So could be all right.
I just wonder why there is the green buy. Why is it giving us a green though? I don't see. There's no bullish divergence. There's nothing looking at this chart that tells me
it's not a buy. It's a reversal, and I guess that's just because the
how is it calculated? Like how does the algorithm? Maybe because we made a.
I think it's the it's to do with the leading and the lagging momentum indicators crossing, and probably also the change of direction in price action.
So the liquidation price being so close, is that just too high leverage?
Well, depends, no, because if they went in at 10 something, it's not really that close.
You know what? I think actually they're probably going to be all right, but as long as Bitcoin doesn't go down any further.
You know what? When you look at the 1 hour, looking at this, what concerns me that it's not going to make it back up a lot is look at where this here. I'm just going to draw a. I'm just going to hover over this. Look at the RSI where it is.
Yep.
And look how close we are here.
Yeah.
It very soon in a smaller time frame, looking like it's going to go back down.
And actually, there's resistance around about that area where the entry point is as well, isn't there?
That's what I mean. As you go up, the resistance goes up with it. It doesn't get easier as you go up, and you could see it here. Look, on both, and when you have a confirmation on both RSI and MFI, it's come on. It's if the person was listening right now, I would say watch. Why is it doing that? E. If the person was listening, I would advise them to not listen to me while I'm getting pissed off at this screen.
So the person who asked for the chart, I've just sent you a message on Twitter. Oh, the joys of social media, hey?
There's also a message from Lars on Zoom. If you
He's saying, so I think she should short it once there is a local top again. That way she can prevent and even recover potential losses. It's not a bad shout.
Okay. So yeah, whoever it is, I would look at what happens here and here with RSI and MFI. If we break down below this again, get out. And the next point to look at would be this peak here and this peak here. So if you don't make it above this and make a higher high, which we won't make. So if we actually get close to this and we're still below your entry point, I would sell. I would get out, I mean. But yeah, that's what it looks like for now.
There is a possibility that they've just entered the meeting. Yeah.
Say that again.
I think there's a possibility that they've just entered the meeting. So connect, if that's you that's been asking for the chart, then you can unmute yourself and feel free to ask any questions.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi, guys.
So yeah, I'm pretty new to crypto. I've done, I mean, I've been in since the end of August. That's definitely still pretty new, obviously. I've done a lot of research on the projects that I'm actually invested in. For, I guess I would take profits on them this bull run, but the ones I'm keeping long term, I didn't touch. But so I entered this trade. Here, let me pull it up. I entered this trade yesterday. I only really I've watched a lot of videos and stuff on TA, but I've never really done any significant trading. And I made a couple like 5x long positions, small ones on and I've made like $50, $100. I've also lost like 50. anyways, I got in this trade before it tanked, right before it tanked, thinking that, here, let me pull up what I had done. Yeah, but something I wrote in the chat, I don't think it's broken under 8.5 cents since September. So it hasn't broken its September lows, and I mean, not a lot of the coins I follow have, so that kind of gives me a little bit of hope. But yeah, it got ugly quick, and I've just been waiting it out basically.
Yeah. If you don't
And
know,
I was here since the it might not have been the beginning, but what I got here, you guys were saying about, I preach stop losses, but you know, you don't like to use them yourself or whatever. And I was down on an XLM trade, almost $300 there the other day, but I was looking at the chart. I thought it would go profitable, and I ended up closing it at $100 profit. So, and what I did is a couple times is add money to the trade to just, and I did it with this one too. It just didn't work out the same way, to lower my average buy-in. And yeah, sorry, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, don't want to make you feel worse, so I'm debating whether I could tell you this, but the fact that you're new to trading, forget crypto, but
oh man, I know I messed up. I'm not good. I won't be trading again after this, trust me.
Yeah.
Until I know.
Yeah. Look, do you understand? Do you know what RSI, MFI? Do you know these things? Do you know what they are?
Yeah. I wasn't exactly looking at anything, but basically the range they were trading in at the time.
That's okay. I don't want to use terminology that's just gonna.
Oh no, I'll get the gist of most of everything you'll say. While I was watching.
No problem. So what I want to show you, what I want to draw your attention to is if you look at the RSI and the MFI, and you connect these three tops here, this is RSI and MFI resistance. Okay.
Just 1 sec. I'm just pulling it up. Okay. No, go. What time frame are you looking on?
1 hour.
Okay.
Okay. So what concerns me about the chart right now is, so aside from this resistance that we want to break, okay, we need to break that as a step number one. Step number two, you need to break above this here. I'm just going to draw it for you if my computer allows me, because for whatever reason, it is extremely slow.
Here, just 1 sec. I don't even have your stream pulled up anymore because I was doing it all on my phone. It won't let me do both. I'm just going to pull it up on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to see it on Zoom.
I can't. Let's see.
Swipe to the left.
Oh, okay. Damn, okay. I had to download Zoom to do this. I've never used it.
So if you know what bearish divergence is?
No.
So bearish divergence, sure. Bearish divergence is when you're going to make a higher high, but your oscillator or your volume is making a lower high. Okay. So this here in this case is RSI, a relative strength index. This is MFI, money flow index. That doesn't really matter. But if you wanted to just look at this purely from a mechanical perspective, 56 on the 1 hour chart, okay? 56 on RSI and 67 on MFI. As you approach these values and your price of the coin is nowhere near this $11.20 point, it just means that you're about to go back down again, because there's really weakness in buying pressure is getting weaker and weaker. And therefore what can happen, or what theoretically should happen, is that the price should continue going back down. So if you're deciding when to exit the trade, if you don't want to exit it now and you want to take your chances with the possibility of it bouncing a little bit higher to limit your losses, I would pay close attention to just keep your eye on RSI and connect the dot where RSI meets the price point of about $11.17, as you see on the chart here. And as the price goes higher, if you see RSI that's following the current price action get close to this stop or exceed it, but the price itself is nowhere near the stop, it's a good time to stop.
Okay. Expected drop. Okay. Yeah. I feel like it really depends on Bitcoin. It hasn't broken its September
100%,
lows.
100%. It does depend on Bitcoin. You're right.
I feel like if as long as and this has happened the last few times we've had not this one like a few days ago, like that was nothing. I've been saying to people, like, we have not felt like, you know, fear in the market in a while. These drops from like fucking all-time highs like 67K down to like 63K, people were like, you know, that's the drop, here we go. It's like, no, this wasn't the drop, we went right back up. So I figured something like this was going to eventually happen. And sorry, one sec. You guys go ahead. One sec.
Okay, so look, I mean, there's not really much more I can add, unfortunately. My only and my best advice is, if you want to try to write it out a little bit more to try to bring the price back up before you exit your trade. As you go up, you could see that there's more resistance. So you could get lucky and you get a bit higher before you get out. But looking at this right now, the way it looks right now is it's quite bearish, and you want to make sure you put a stop loss before you get liquidated, because it will cost you more money to get liquidated. Binance added a penalty fee on liquidations, so make sure you don't get liquidated.
Okay.
Can I also suggest that you told me that you don't have a Telegram account? Well, Crypto Society do most of their analysis and their fundamental analysis, and we thrive as a community on Telegram. I really do consider Crypto Society to be my crypto safe space, because we don't get scammers in the groups, and anybody who in any way comes across like they are trying to take advantage of somebody within the group immediately get booted, and we don't tolerate any of that kind of nonsense. So you can definitely feel safe within that space. I'd suggest that you download Telegram, that you come and join Crypto Society, and then any questions that you have at any point in time, we have a full technical analysis team, we have a fundamental analysis team, and there are a lot of very nice and very helpful people within the group who will happily help you at any point. I highly recommend it.
I actually do. I re-downloaded the app. I messaged you on that as well after I messaged you on Twitter.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'll drop you a message then, and I'll send you a link to Crypto Society, and honestly, it will change your crypto life.
I believe it, honestly. Like I said, I don't really have anyone that I can. I got a couple of my friends like kind of into it, like a couple of my friends hold crypto now, and but they're just not nearly as into it as I am. Obviously, I'm extremely new and shouldn't be trading, but I don't hold shit coins or whatever. Yeah, I've definitely done my research into the projects that I'm invested in. But in terms of this trade, obviously it's possible to keep going. But each one of these pullbacks that we were getting, even prior to this one, every time I feel like people thought it was going to go lower than it actually was. Every time we got a crash or a pullback since September, really. And even when we first started going up in October. And not a lot of coins have broken those September lows. I wasn't here in 2017, so I'd love to hear. I know, I've done my research to know that Bitcoin had it was 25 plus, I think, 25 to 30% correction towards the end of November, middle to end of November. I know there was a similar correction in September of 2017. So I don't know if a lot of coins during that correct, like this could be the first stage of a bigger correction, obviously, before continuation or whatever happens. I don't know if a lot of coins, when Bitcoin dropped that far in 2017, and honestly, I'm sure they did because there wasn't as much money in the space, so it took a lot less to move stuff. But I don't know of many coins yet. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but a lot of coins that I look at haven't broken their September lows from this year, and Sushi's is 8.5 cents. I see it looks like it capitulated down around what is it, 9.10 or whatever it was. I feel like as long as Bitcoin doesn't get that extra knockback to 55, under 55, if Bitcoin goes under 55k, I think that then I'm effed. But I think if it doesn't, I don't think it'll go under those September lows.
You could be right. Let's hope so.
Yep.
As Bilo said, though, make sure that you don't get liquidated. So, if anything, just make sure that you get out of the trade before the point of liquidation. Bilo, what does it look like from a higher time frame perspective? Just out of interest, if you have more capital, and if from a higher time frame perspective it maybe looks like that it could change direction, then it might be worth keeping the position open. But that's purely personal.
You mentioned earlier that you lost, and I don't want to put I don't know if I should say this. I don't want to put a relative value on things. Everybody, has different situation, but you mentioned losing $50 or making $50. Are we talking about a lot of money here?
What do you mean? In the trade?
What I mean is, in this trade, if you lose, how much do you stand to lose?
If it gets liquidated?
Yeah.
Close to around 1,600 USD.
Okay, that's a lot of money.
And relative to my situation, I definitely ended up selling some of the projects that not some of the things that I just had that were kind of lower cap. Like I sold a lot of RSR, ZIL, and a few other things to because when I first entered the position, it was actually higher than it was. I got it down to what it was, and it yeah.
Can you do
I don't know.
something for me?
Sure.
Don't leverage trade. You know what?
I don't plan to.
You know what? I've been in crypto quite a lot longer than you, and I don't leverage trade. And yes, there are people in our group that do, but if you buy things in spot, then you're never going to be put in this situation where you are basically you're either going to have this coin turn around and all of a sudden be going up towards profit, or your money is going to be wiped out, unless of course you're buying some kind of shitcoin.
It just takes one bad trade.
Yeah, it does. And you know what? Mark will tell you all about futures trading. Yeah, Mark doesn't futures trade anymore.
What's your name?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Brady.
Brady, if you were to get out now, how much would you lose?
Let's see. 525.
It's a lot of money.
I've definitely thought about it. I've definitely just thought about it. But see, this is kind of. I bought a few coins during their September lows, and I sold a lot of them, not close to their highs, but a lot higher than they are right now, with the intentions of buying them, a lot of them back at cheaper prices on a dip. It's crazy. I didn't expect this, and I had like $1,000 USDT just sitting waiting for a dip, and looking it just like last night I put just right before.
Can I ask you a question? What made you decide to go long on a coin whilst Bitcoin was dipping.
So I
And
don't.
I'm not laughing at
like
you. It's just
no,
just
it's all
purely
good, man.
a-
I'd laugh at me. Trust me.
If anything, then at that point you should have said, "This is that point where I should short." It would have been the ideal time to place a short, not to place a long.
I was staring at the markets because of this trade during that like when the crash started, and I panic sold like all of the stuff that I had on Binance as it started crashing, which ended up working out really good, like really good. It's but I added it to this trade to try to make that better, and I did send a little bit over to KuCoin actually, and I bought a little more ALBT, but other than that, yeah, I mean, trust me, this won't happen again. No more leverage trading for me ever again.
Oh, hear it.
But
Unfortunately,
I don't
these
know.
lessons always come at a price, and sometimes it sucks to lose the money, but it's worth the lesson if you really do learn them.
There's a saying, Brady, and it is that you don't lose money. The market teaches you expensive lessons. You pay for expensive lessons. The only thing that's bothering me looking at this chart right now is that you have this downwards trending resistance on both the MFI and the RSI, which I think is the main reason why Bilo would be asking you, what do you stand to lose if you got out now? Because actually, unless you see the RSI and the MFI break above that point, and even then, you've still only got to the point of those two red lines where it meets and it then becomes bearish divergence. You've either got to sit and look at this chart. You can download TradingView, or you can go on the TradingView website and you can have.
I'm on TradingView right now.
Okay, well, you can have two indicators at the same time, I think, on the free version of TradingView. And I would suggest that you get both the RSI and the MFI up, and you draw these lines Sorry?
I was just going to say, so where do I click on here to get the RSI up?
Right here.
If you go up to this indicator where it's got the FX.
And how do you get it on dark mode? This is terrible.
You just right click anywhere on the chart and it'll ask you whether you want it in light mode or dark mode.
Or you click on these three buttons here.
Yeah.
And you can.
Am I the only person that hates dark mode?
No,
yes.
Baldwin does as well. But you're both strange, so what can we say?
Oh my god, that's so much better.
Okay, so I suggest that you get up both of those indicators, because they're realistically, do you know what? There are professional traders that literally just use the RSI, points of resistance and price action.
So can I ask what might be a dumb question? Is there any chance on the hourly that's maybe a W pattern forming, and maybe we go up to $10 or close to, $9.90 or something?
Do you want to take it to the hourly? Oh, you are on the hourly.
We're on the hourly. Definitely, there's a chance. I'm not telling you what will happen. I'm telling you what to look out for.
Yeah. So that
I can't.
What I was saying, sorry, Bilo. What I was saying was, if you draw those trend lines in on the RSI and the MFI, so that you can see where those 2 points of resistance are, if it breaks above those points of resistance and heads further up, then make sure that you have horizontal lines drawn from that next point up, where if it passed that, it would become bearish divergence, and then as you get up towards those lines, then regardless of what the price action is at the time, if you you might not have the ideal outcome that you want, but it's probably not going to go above that. So at that point, if you do get above this downwards trending resistance on the oscillators, then that is definitely the point where you need to cut your losses and just say, you know what, I'm getting out now. Because
there's quite a few messages from Lars as well, one suggesting paper trading.
Yeah, that's a good idea. There are quite
Good
a few
luck.
messages, aren't there, Mark?
How
Good
are
luck.
those candles on your chart? Your chart just looks a lot different from mine. It could just be because I'm zoomed in down on
Yeah,
the
they're candles. They're candles.
It will be.
What's that?
It will just be because you're zoomed in.
Yeah.
And Bilo, you've got the exponential moving average on there as well, which is probably part of what makes it look a little bit different potentially.
Yeah, but they're candles. Look, it's edging up here. I would really watch these what Pumpeye was telling you, these levels here as like a hawk, and as it gets close to these red lines, which is previously the previous peak, you see that the problem here is there's quite a big gap between this price and this price, but on RSI they're very close, so you're very likely going to end up in a bearish divergence position. So you have an opportunity to get out closer to your in right now. It's probably going to try to push up, but I don't think it's going to make it here. So if I was you, I would be looking at this line here, and as I get close to this line, if the distance between the price action and this point is not proportional, it's probably where it's going to turn around. So I'd be looking to cut my losses rather than make money here if I was you.
How do I get the RSI on here? I've usually looked at charts on Binance only, and only on my phone. I had the RSI and a couple other indicators turned on.
I'm going to tell you. So you go here where it's FX. You click on this. Okay. And you type in RSI. My computer is very slow right now, probably because we're streaming and I'm having a little bit of an issue. But once you click on FX, you'll have a little window that pops up and you can just type in RSI and you'll pick the word relative strength index.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I would suggest that, as Bilo said, you keep a very close eye, because I mean price action isn't actually moving that much right now, and it's probably because of that resistance, that downward trending resistance. And I would suggest that if you notice that the oscillator starts going down at this point, then you're probably not going to break that downward trending resistance, and at that point you need to make a decision for yourself whether actually at this point it's probably the right point to cut your losses anyway, even though you're at a loss.
Just trying to.
If you do check out
the charts just don't
crypto.
lie.
If you do check out Crypto Society, then there are quite a few opportunities to make that money back.
Absolutely.
As well, as long as you have funds, you live to fight another day.
Absolutely.
It's actually, I haven't even seen it really at where it is right now in a while. 980. Yeah. How do I join that?
I've sent you a link to your Telegram that you messaged me from.
Okay.
And likewise, if you have any more questions, then you're more
just
than welcome to drop me a message.
beware just beware the capture bot. I mean,
oh yeah. So when you join,
Yeah,
there's a capture bot, and sometimes it's quite difficult to read. Yeah, but you make sure you do the capture when you join. And also go to your settings on Telegram and just make sure that you're hiding your telephone number so that other people can't see your telephone number. And if random people start messaging you, just ignore them.
How can I hide it?
You just do that within your settings. I'll message you anyway on Telegram, and I'll give you a few bits of advice to help keep you safe.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people out there that want to take your money. Trust me, it's not just Binance.
also, also there's a setting to stop random people inviting you into groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
As well.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, I think for I'm just gonna keep watching it for now. I'm gonna try to wait a bit longer. Let's see. Where is this? The RSI on this, hours look different. I'm not sure
It's
why.
because Bilo's quite zoomed out.
Okay.
You're probably quite zoomed in. So he's got a
Even-
longer time scale, so he can see back to the 25th of October, and you're probably looking
Even
at
when
a much
I
closer
zoom, maybe it's because it's paid.
you on
Because
the
when
hourly?
Are you on Perpetual Futures Binance?
I have.
You know what? I have an
Oh.
idea. Right, we're
I
gonna
just
cut
have-
this now. And me and you can have a chat, have a quick chat, a quick chart. We can do both. And I'll give you a bit of advice, and I'll help you sort all of that out. And we're gonna call that.
Okay.
We're gonna call that a night because I think Bilo's got a few things that he needs to do, and I will help you from here on in. All good
I
with you?
really appreciate. Oh, I really appreciate that. Yeah, no, for sure.
Brilliant. Okay. Thanks very much for your time this evening. It's actually really nice to have somebody who was watching on YouTube come and join us in the meeting and to be able to give you a bit of advice that's hopefully helped.
Good luck.
That is exactly what Crypto Society is all about. We're all about helping people out and helping people to navigate this space, to learn about the fundamentals of crypto and also about the technicals of crypto, and to keep us all prosperous.
Guys, give us a like on YouTube. Tell your friends about us. We're happy to help. We're happy to answer questions. We're also happy to learn from you guys. You guys know your own stuff as well, and you're always invited to come on and chat and give us some ideas. And if there's anything you think we can do to improve these weekly broadcasts, just DM Pumpeye or myself. And we're looking to make this into something useful and helpful to everybody. And we always appreciate your comments. But please do go on YouTube and like the videos and share them with your friends if you find that they're useful. Thanks for your time. See you next Wednesday. We normally do these on Wednesday. So we'll see you not this Wednesday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.